were giving us like a bunch of issues with the contract for deed, and they thought we were trying to do a rap. I'm like, no, we're not rapping anything.
Hello, what's up, bro?
How are you, man?
I'm doing amazing. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Thank you so much for asking.
That's
Hey,
good to
brother.
hear. Talk to me. What's up, bro?
I wanted to call you about this because it's not that it's complicated. It's just I've been working with her for some time, but we've always hit that roadblock that I sent you the message about. I just spoke to her right now, and she's still open to getting this situated.
Okay.
But to answer your question, yes, I'm still in contact with her. In terms of the agreement, the house was pretty much gonna get foreclosed. She hasn't paid that mortgage or any sort of taxes on the house since her dad passed away, and this was years ago. So she was on the brink of foreclosure. She just wanted the peace of mind of getting rid of the house, and she just wanted to walk away with 10K. That was her go-to. So I believe right now at this point they need about maybe 89,000 between there. I will have her send me the updated forms, but I do have some in my phone, but they're a little old, which is what's needed to pay off the house. Actually, they only owe like 30, but they have a lien for, they took equity out of the home a while back to extend it, and then I guess they were still paying that back. But the problem is that when we were going through the whole title situation, we found out that her brother is, I guess, like an heir, and they're required to get his signature to proceed. So in terms of having communication with him, she says that it's here and there. He's aware of them trying to sell the house. Apparently, he was going to sign some paperwork. They said he had to go to the U.S. Consulate or something like that in Mexico. But since then, she hasn't had any luck getting a hold of him.
How long ago was this?
This was like in January.
In January?
Yeah.
And this was the last time she talked to him?
The last time she spoke to him was in January. That's right.
Okay.
And then,
go ahead.
Yeah. And what got things kind of messy was he was adopted. So his last name was Johnson. When he was deported with, I guess, his birth name. So that kind of made things a little bit more complicated. But Yadira was helping with this a while back. She had said it wasn't a problem as long as we can prove. And I had some stuff. I sent her some stuff. She said that should be enough to just confirm that is him. I don't know if that complicates things for you in any way.
No, I just think the biggest thing is we need to get in contact with him specifically. Do you think that'll be an issue?
Yeah. At this point, I believe it is.
And why is that?
She just has no communication with him whatsoever.
Okay, can we bring her on a phone call right now?
She's at work right now, but I can tell her.
Yeah,
I called her right now.
Ask her if I could give her a call right now, possibly.
You want to call her?
Yeah,
definitely. Okay.
Sounds good, bro. Keep me posted, okay? Let me know if I can jump on a call with her right now.
Send me your info because I don't have your direct information.
Yeah, well, if you want to just send me her number as soon as you talk to her.
Okay, that works.
Sounds good, bro.
All right.
Have an amazing day. Bye-bye. Hi, Norma.
Yes, who's this?
This is Chris Silva. How are you?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Silva, you put me at work.
Oh, my goodness. You want me to give you a call a little later this afternoon?
I get off at 2:30. Can you call me then?
Yeah, 2:30. Let me see. Does 3 p.m. work for you?
Yes, that's perfect.
Awesome, Norma. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'll put this on my calendar real quick. Let's follow up, guys. Follow up. These deals are everywhere, bro. Cool. So I'm going to jump back to the wholesaler that brought me the deal in Santa Teresa, and we will go from there, and we'll take it piece by piece, boy.
This is Stuart.
What's up, Stuart? This is Chris Silva. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, bud? On Facebook?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw your message this morning. So I was like, you should just give me a call. It'd be easier. So
yeah, for sure, man. For sure. What's going on, man? How are you?
Bless, man. Bless. You had some interest in that deal, I think, in Santa Teresa, that we had over there in New Mexico. So yeah, everything's all good. I'm just trying to get a clear title on that one. So that's why I said, just give me a call so I can kind of understand what you're trying to do as far as exits and everything to see if it would work for what you do.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So typically I buy and hold. I look for longevity in it. That's really what I'm in. I'm actually looking for a homestead myself. I live in El Paso. So, I mean, it's kind of the same area, but I'm looking for something like a homestead house for myself in that area. So I haven't seen the details. I just saw what you told me. So I just want to jump. I'm glad that we're able to connect. So that way you can tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, this one, it came through because I don't do deals per se in that area because I'm based out of Florida, but I get nationwide leads because I do like PPC and PPL. So this one came through. This gentleman, he's a vet. He has a VA loan, and he was trying to get out of it. The way his loan is, he gets a full he gets full tax exemption with his loan. So basically, we're the way we're trying to get him out of it is basically we're just trying to do a contract for deed executory contract, so the entitlement stays on, and we can assign it to whoever, a sub two buyer, whoever is familiar with creative deals, but they have to understand how these type of deals work. And for them, for example, they could take it and they could do a lease option with another buyer if they want to. They can hold it. But right now, we're just trying to make sure that he has no other entitlements associated with this loan. So we're waiting to get a clear title on this. So that's basically what's going on. So basically, it's a VA loan. He understands that, hey, the loan stays in his name. He already signed all the paperwork. We already have all the sub two disclosures. Everything is signed. My TC's handling it right now. We just want to make sure that he has no other entitlements besides this tax exemption. Because, with these sellers, sometimes they don't tell you everything, like as far as down payment, that he get a down payment assistance and things like that. So we just want to make sure there's no other like entitlements associated with it, and then we can assign it. So
yeah, for sure. What's the rate on that one?
The rate on this one, he got screwed because he bought this house in December 2022. Originally, I believe he had like a 4%. Then what happens is when he went to finalize the docs, I don't know, something with the VA, his interest on this one is like 6.8. Hold on, give me one second here. So it's 6.8. I don't know if it's because they were like, well, we're going to give you the full tax exempt, so they gave him a higher rate. I was trying to get the story out of it, but the TI on it is like 2012, looks like, and the interest is 6.8 on it, 6.875.
6.8, damn, that's almost a 7. Pretty high.
Yeah.
And then that's just PI because he's tax exempt, right? The 2012.
Exactly. So the only thing he has in escrow is like his property insurance. So that's why I wanted us to make sure, hey, let's do a full clean search on this to make sure there's no other thing going on with this loan. So yeah, the only thing he has in escrow right now is just his property insurance. He has the full exemption. So that's the only reason why we're like, okay, we can probably help him on this one because he has the full exemption. But the thing about it is if the deed transfers, obviously that drops. So we got to make sure it's set up as a contract for deed executory, so everything stays in place. So nothing else drops off with it.
Contract for deed, you could do that in New Mexico? I know in Texas you can't.
Right. Texas, you guys can't.
No,
you guys can't do that in New Mexico. But in New Mexico, you can. Yeah, New Mexico, cool. You can. The only reason why right now I want to make sure that we can get a full title is because, yeah, some of these counties in New Mexico, like some of these title companies, they have like, well, we could do it, we can't do it. We could do this, we can't do that. So like my TC's like, hey, I'm just gonna get a title company that can handle everything. If we assign it, then the end buyer, they don't have any trouble as well. So that's the issue that my team's running into. My TC is they're saying, hey, we found a title company that could do this, but they can't do that. Or they'll do this, they can't do a wrap.
Who's the title company you guys are using right now?
We were looking at which one she sent me a message on, but we're going away from it here. Give me one second. Go to my email. Yeah, because we're gonna go away from them. First American Title was the name of it, but we're gonna go away from them. That's the last message I got from her because she was like, yeah, they were giving us like a bunch of issues with the contract for deed, and they thought we were trying to do a wrap. I'm like, no, we're not wrapping anything. We're just want to do a title search. We're not trying to wrap. We're not doing a mirror wrap. We're not doing any of that because if we try to do any type of wraps with a deed, the deed transfers, all his entitlements are gonna drop. So yeah, we're going away from it. She's supposed to get back to me this morning.
What is he planning on doing? Is he gonna buy?
No, he's not buying. The thing with him is he's got a full disability, so he gets like disability. So the thing about it is he was saying, hey man, I could barely pay my bills because he had kids, a girl. So he's gonna downsize to an apartment and he's just gonna live in an apartment going forward. So he doesn't plan on rebuying. That's why like we make sure, hey, make sure we went through all the disclosures. He understands that close, we're going to need for you to do a POA, basically to allow us control of like any insurance things that need to be done in case there needs to be changes to how insurance is handled. So he already understands that the loan stays in his name. He can't go out and get another loan. He could potentially do it because he has VA and he has entitlements, but he understands that he can't. If he wants to do that, he already has a DTI that he could barely afford, so he doesn't plan on getting another house or anything like that because he's not even from that area. He's from like Georgia, so he was just a vet that I guess was based somewhere out there. So
okay, cool. And what's his principal?
Principal. Give me 1 second. Didn't expect all of that. Give me 1 second. Pull up the notes on this one. Where you at? I think I put that on the message I sent you guys.
You posted you just sent me like a group thing, and
I got you. My fault, man.
No,
the principal is like 261. 261 is the principal, and his principal payments. The actual principal is like $226 because he just got it, and everything is basically interest right now. It's like $14.95 a month, and the escrow is like $289, and his monthly payment is like $2,000.12.
Cool.
So
yeah, I mean, just on the interest, man, that's kind of. I'm not saying I'm not interested. It's just one of those deals that has almost a 7%. When we could go out there and pick up a 2 or 3 or 4,
right.
maybe a 5. But do you have anything else in this area or in Texas?
Nah.
Anywhere in Texas?
Nah, nothing in Texas. This one is just a VA with a high interest loan. The only
What's the entry on this one? Or what are you guys asking for on this one?
The entry on this, we had it at 18, 5 going to the seller, and the rest was supposed to be closing in like TC work, but we're still waiting on that. So that's all negotiable because we haven't gotten back any title work yet to finalize any type of fees on that. But the only enticement for this one that would make sense for a buyer is if they plan on doing the lease option on the exit, because it's the highest and best exit on this is the lease option. But if you're looking to hold yourself to keep it yourself, potentially it could work. But yeah, the interest rate on this is not going to be the best interest rate. The highest and best use that we found for this area is going to be lease option, simply because where this is located. I know you're near the area because you're right on the border. There's like a ton of new construction, just like literally like in this area, like half a mile from his house, they're building all new subdivisions. And from what we saw, the house itself is probably worth like 340, 350, probably like in a year or two. If somebody was to do an option and the person was to to buy it at that point, because what we're seeing over here in this area is like everything is like new construction and the values are going up. So that's what we're seeing. And it all goes based on the year built. So basically this one was built in the 80s. So anything that's like built like recently, they're like automatically selling at like 350 and up. So that's what we're kind of seeing. So that's why we're like, okay, the best exit on this is probably like a lease option to somebody. If somebody was to want to do a different type of exit, like a traditional rental, it might not, the cash flow would be super tight. Their midterm is not a good midterm area because from what I saw, this is not really a destination area. As far as like other things, it could be potentially like a sober living because it looks like over here there's a ton of people that's under some type of drug rehab over here, like this part of New Mexico. So we looked at all the different exits. It's not an Airbnb area because it's not a destination area and it's not a per se midterm area. It looks like this area is mainly like lease options, rent to own. That's the main exit. So you might know on your side of it what it's like, but it looks like on this side of it, it's mainly lease option is the main thing that's going on over here.
Okay, yeah, no, most definitely. Do you know what the taxes are without the exemption? Property taxes on it?
Without the exemption, we had that's one thing that we did have one of the title companies check for us. It would be like $2,500 without the exemption. So.
And then the 5, where did he come up with that number?
The 5, he just needed like money to start over. So we were like, okay, how much do you think you need? I said, hey, we could probably see if we can get you 5 in your pocket to go ahead and get you going. So that's all that is. But obviously, if something changes with numbers, we can go back to him and be like, hey, listen, the numbers from the math, this is what we need to actually be from finalize everything. But that's what we agreed with him. That's what he needed to kind of get himself going again, to get out of it, to move, get himself an apartment. So.
Did he move out already or not yet?
Not yet. Everything is like getting boxed up.
What does that time frame look like? Does he have a time frame to be out?
Initially, he needed a couple months. So initially, he needed 60 days, but he said, hey, if we can do it sooner, he would be ready to go. I explained to him, hey, give us at least like 30, simply because we want to make sure there's no other issues with this type of loan, because we don't want it to be a situation like we didn't do a proper title check and then, hey, we can't move forward as soon as you wanted. Initially, he needed like 60. Then he came back. He's like, hey, I could do it as soon as 30. So up to 60, if as soon as 30, essentially. So
okay. Do you have an exact closing date for this?
Right now, we just put it on or before 90 days because of the fact that at first he told us, hey, he needed a little bit more time. Then so we was like, okay, we'll accommodate up to 90 days. If we need to close sooner, we'll do that. So right now, I think the closing date we had set up was to like the end of June, but obviously we can move it up once we get title and all the other stuff, and he'd be ready to go because he was like, hey, I'm packing all the stuff right now. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. What was the address on this?
The address, give me 1 second, is one.
Cool. And it's a 3-2 or 4-2?
It's a 3-2, but once you look at the photos, I can send you the photos. I don't think I sent you anything. There's one of the rooms. It could technically be a 4th bedroom, but it's officially a 3. It's a 3-2, about 2,000 square feet, and it's got an upstairs, downstairs, and then on the upstairs, it's like a upstairs patio deck type of situation. So the house is pretty clean from what we saw, because when he bought it, they redid the whole kitchen and everything. So
Okay, yeah. Well, just going back is just on 2 things. Is I am interested. I will take it, just not at the price that we're at, to be honest. Just based on where the rate is, but so that way it just doesn't get lost in on your side or get lost in the sauce. I mean, I think we can make it happen. I think first and foremost, the most important thing is for your TC to find a title company that would be willing to do a contract for deed. Just because I don't think our title company, though, who we work with out there, I just text over our TC and she just got off the phone with him as you and I were on the phone. Dona Ana County doesn't do contract for deed. That's who we use in New Mexico. However, if you could find somebody that does, I'd definitely be interested. I don't think the seller has even make $5,000. So kind of based on all of this, ideally I would be willing to pay you guys a $5,000 assignment if this is something that once we do find a title company that does do a contract for deed. Now, if we don't find one and we gotta close with those exemptions, basically we could go back and restructure this with the seller, so that way we could keep that exemption. I'm just trying to think. We'll probably do like a outside of closing once we just have a clear title commitment. Obviously, this is just based on having that clear title commitment, making sure there's nothing else on there, and then worst case scenario, we close it just normally and we get those taxes back on. However, that 5,000 would change.
Right. I understand that, because if your thing is you trying to do a homestead, I mean, I have other people that's willing to come in at close to entry fee asking. That's why I'm asking. So are you trying to do a homestead or are you trying to do it as a rental?
Yeah, I'll either or. I'm not gonna get rich on either. I'm not gonna get rich on either.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because I understand where you're coming from. Like for me, that's why I'm like, hey, let me make sure we have a clear title. The contract for D could be done, and then I'll do highest and best with whoever wants to take it and who can best manage it. Because my main concern, this is not a deal I'm gonna get rich off of, because I'm really trying to help this guy out, simply because, but at the same time, I don't want to put this deal in the hands of
somebody that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. And then 2 years later, they get a due on sell clause because they did some crazy shit and they don't understand how creative works and how due on sell works. Because like for me, I've been in situations where I've done deals where I put, like, for example, like a lien on on somebody from like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, because they did some shady stuff with a deed, and then I'm getting title companies contacting us, and I'm like, well, yeah, this is because this is this, and this is what happened, you know. And especially with stuff that's creative, you know, you definitely want to protect the seller.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm like, hey, I
think
want
that's the
to,
most
yeah.
important thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, hey, you know, that's why I want to make sure, hey, it's if I put it in somebody's hand, they're gonna be able to take care of it, and I don't want to have to hear like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, I'm getting my doors knocked. Hey, man, you did this deal like 3 years ago. I'm like, what? So that's the kind of stuff, you know. In case there's like something that happens, like, what do you plan on like refinancing? What are your contingencies? How you handle stuff like that? Because are you planning on putting in the land trust eventually? What do you guys normally do with?
That's from the start, and I think just to reiterate, I think I'm glad that you're doing this, because a lot of people just go out there and they sell these fucking properties to whoever, and I think that's very important, is knowing who your end buyer is. So for myself, is I have, so this is in my backyard first and foremost, but I buy and hold. That's all I do is seller finance or sub to. Anything creative from the beginning, it goes right into the land trust. So we do that per property. So ideally, exit is refinance in the future once there's equity built up. But right now, it's just buy and hold. Like I said, if my wife likes it, then we move in. If we don't, then we just turn it into a rental. Like I said, we're not going to get rich in the front end off this deal. It's something that's probably going to make us lose just based on the rental of what we could probably rent this out. We'd probably be negative a few $100s. However, it's no biggie. We just ride the wave for the next 5-10 years.
Right. That's why I want to make sure, because I'm like, hey, I want to make sure, because people need to understand, hey, listen, man, this is a loan. It's somebody's name. You know, this is not nothing to play with. You know, if you don't pay it, they're gonna come after him. So
yeah,
and I don't
absolutely.
want to put the guy.
I also don't mind meeting him as well, so that way he feels comfortable. Like I said, this is in my backyard. I love that you're doing that, and you're making sure you know who your end buyers are. But this is something that I know I can get done.
Right. Sounds good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, because I've heard horror stories, and I don't want to be part of one. I've been almost part of some horror stories, but I was able to prove that it had nothing to do with me. I did what I was supposed to do. So I don't want to put people in that type of position. So especially sellers. So, but yeah, so I definitely, Chris. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check with my TC right now, actually, because she was supposed to give me an update where things are. Have we found a title company that can do the contract for deed, and can we get a clean title to make sure it's all good? Then once I have a clean bill of health, I can kind of let you know, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what it would look like for you guys to structure this deal. So
absolutely, bro. Well, I appreciate the phone call. So you said you're out in Florida. What part of Florida?
Yeah. Orlando, Central Florida.
Okay, nice. And is wholesaling kind of, is this what you do full time?
Yeah. I've been doing wholesaling full time for like 3 years now. This is my third year doing it. But yeah, so we do nationwide. This year is really the first year I really went nationwide. Before, I kind of stuck Midwest Missouri, you know, because I have people there, buyers there, things like that, and mainly Florida. But because of like a lot of the PPC companies, PPL companies, like sending stuff out to me, and the people that I know, like, hey, we offer this, and this, was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And then, you know, we started getting deals like leads everywhere. And then obviously when you get these leads, you have to do what you need to do with the lead because you paid for it. So you don't want to throw away money. So I'm like, well, if this is a deal, we got to figure out a way to dispo it, you know, the best that we can, you know, and then get it done for the seller. So
yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome to hear. Well, maybe if after this deal, we could also do other deals out there in Florida. I know our team is locking up deals in Jacksonville and Tampa. So if you have any buyers out there,
yeah, it depends on where in Tampa. You know, where in Tampa, because Tampa is like one of the most competitive markets. Like Tampa and Orlando in general, those two markets are like super competitive, simply because it's not just, obviously you got state people, but it's all the institutional buyers. So like Jacksonville, I have probably one of the biggest institutional buyers that buys from them. Like that's all they do is Jacksonville, Duval, like because over there, because they have so many different exits over there for properties based on neighborhoods. Tampa and Jacksonville and Orlando, like those are like the three here. Obviously, throughout the state, there's different little pockets, but those three are like the three like competitive ones. But there's deals everywhere though. So
yeah, for sure. And I just again, just to reiterate, bro, here in Texas and New Mexico, I'm your end buyer. So I focus more on creative deals, sub twos, like I said, the lower interest, twos,
Right.
threes, fours, and
Right.
any seller finance. I'm going heavy in the San Antonio and Houston market. So if you come across anything in those areas.
Okay, definitely, man. Definitely. We'll see because, yeah, these leads are like coming in from everywhere. So this was the first one I got from the area because I know Texas. I was like, well, if I get something in Texas, because Texas has so many restrictions with like you said, the contract for deed thing. So I'm like, man, but if I get a lead there and I got to work it, I have to work it. So it's just the way it is. So
yeah, for sure, bro. And any of your old leads also, bro, or there's something you feel like there's something there, but you just can't work it. I'm here to help as much as I can, bro. So
I got you. Sounds good. Yeah,
well,
Chris. So what
good
I'll do,
connecting with you, bro.
yeah, good. That's why I say give me a call because for me, it's easier for me with this type of deal to kind of explain it, walk it through with the person, and then let the person, let me know what their exit is. And then, go from there,
Well, like I
because
said,
I have to.
I know I am the buyer for this. I know I could get it done.
Right.
It's just kind of going back to on those two things, the contract for deed and the what was it? The contract for deed and making sure that we have a title that's able to do it. And just the high interest is kind of where we're at. But I know I could get it done. Quick question on your PPC. Who are you using for your PPC and how's that working out for you?
Well, we got different providers. So obviously there's the big ones everybody know. I think this one came through from Lead Zolo because Lead Zolo had a special at the end of last year where you can get like 100 leads for like $2,000 or something like that nationwide. So we just bought it. So this one came through from Lead Zolo, but there's other ones like there's property leads. There's what's the other one we use? I Speed the Lead. There's what's the other one we go look at? Those are the three main ones we're using right now. And then there's Need to Sell My Home Fast, but that one is kind of it's hit or miss for us because on that one we mainly focus in Florida, and with Florida, man, it's very expensive per lead in Florida because it's so competitive. So we try to like balance it out with the nationwide ones to kind of offset costs, but like Lead Zolo, property leads, I Speed the Lead, those are the three ones that kind of are like decent as far as like the pricing. They're not killing you with the pricing with nationwide stuff. There's Need to Sell My Home Fast. They're good, but like I said, they're more pricier because that one, it just comes down to the county that you're in because each county could be high, especially in Florida. I don't know about Texas because I never looked at Texas counties like that, but those three right there are good. And obviously, if you want to set up your own like care website and do your own like that, or have somebody set it up for you, could do that too to set it up. So
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, bro. That's awesome. I'm just glad to see people out there like you that are out there hustling and making it happen. If there's ever anything my team and I can do for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Save my number. Let me know what's the dealio on this lead and anything in Texas, bro. Anything in Texas.
I got you. Yeah, I'll definitely be in touch because, like I said, I want to make sure everybody that showed interest, I'll loop back with every one of them, let them know, hey, this is the title, this is what it would look like, and just go from there with it. So
let's rock and roll, bro. Sounds good, my man. You have an amazing day, okay?
All right, Chris, good talking to you, sir.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
All right.